Hello, everyone. Just going to give people a second to join live here. Thank you all for joining. Happy first Friday of June. My name is Anna Potter. I am one of the senior attorneys here at McEntee Law Group. I work primarily on the business side, employment-based immigration, but we have amazing attorneys that handle it all. Humanitarian, sports, arts and music, family-based, all things immigration. And the first Friday of every month, we like to go live on all our socials to give you updates on the latest in immigration. So just a reminder that while I am a lawyer, I'm not necessarily your lawyer. So this live stream is meant to be informational, just sharing some immigration updates. If you have specific questions about your case, please make sure you're booking a private consultation. Make sure not to put any personal or private information into the chats here. So with that, we'll get into the updates. I'll try to leave some time for Q&A at the end. Some folks have already sent some questions in as well. And there's a lot to cover today. Fair warning that some of it's upsetting too. And so let's just dive right in. First up is the new travel ban. And on Wednesday night this week, President Trump announced that he's revived and expanded his previous travel ban. You might remember this from his prior presidency. That ban was often referred to as the Muslim ban, since it barred entry to the US from many countries with Muslim majority populations. This time around, 19 countries are impacted in total. 12 of them are essentially fully banned. 7 of them are severely restricted. So with some exceptions that I'll discuss, the proclamation bans citizens from these 12 countries from entering the US as immigrants and non-immigrants. These are Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. It further suspends entry to the US for citizens of these 4 countries, entry as visitors or students. So that includes B visas, F, M, and J. That's for individuals from Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. And the proclamation also warned that Egypt may be next on the list. So who does the travel ban not apply to? It does not apply to US green card holders or to dual nationals that can present a passport from a different country, not on the list. It also doesn't apply to certain diplomats, special categories, people coming in to compete in sporting events, and if you've already been granted asylum or refugee status. This ban is going into effect at 12:01 a.m. this coming Monday, June 9th. And I just want to add that from the last time, we saw a similar ban in Trump's prior presidency, these policies do nothing to improve national security or to help our economy. Strict vetting already exists in our immigration system, so it's false to claim that this is for security. It's just another move of this administration appealing to xenophobic, anti-immigrant sentiments, and especially targeting people of color, Muslim majority, and nations with less wealth. We saw last time, all that these bans do is create destruction and chaos. They separate families. They are preventing some of the best and brightest from, coming here to contribute to our innovation. And they are really harmful to US businesses. It's just, I think it goes without saying that, us as well as, immigration lawyers across the nation, we're all disgusted. The pushback on this will be great. And this kind of leads us into the next update, which is a travel ban on entry for Harvard students. So continuing his personal vendetta against Harvard and its students, Trump has also issued a ban on individuals coming to study, research, or work for Harvard on an F, M, or J visa. This ban took effect immediately, and he also called for revocations for visas of individuals who are already here studying or researching at Harvard. And what is there to say? This move just punishes talented international students out of personal spite. A lot of lawsuits are going to come of this. Harvard Law School, kind of one of the biggest ones in the world, one of the biggest and best. So I have no doubt that a lot of really fantastic lawyers are already, working on pro bono fights against this. Next, last Friday, the Supreme Court took away status for 500,000 people who came here legally. The Biden administration had given legal status and work authorization to individuals from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. This was part of a humanitarian program that allowed folks to apply for temporary legal status, usually because conditions in one of those countries, that was their home country, posed a threat to their safety. These people applied, they were vetted ahead of time, they entered legally, and they were given authorization to stay, work, and pay taxes, and to pay US taxes. But last Friday, the Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to temporarily pause this program. It was a brief order. They didn't give much of a reason for it, but I think it's pretty clear the only reason is the president's hatred of Biden. A very sad day. Again, as I said, these are individuals who played by the rules to enter the country legally with the promise of being immigrants for 2 years, or at least to have temporary status for 2 years, I should say. Next, ICE detentions. There are increasing reports of immigrants being detained by ICE when they show up for scheduled court dates or check-ins. ICE is showing up often in unmarked vehicles to arrest them. Families are being deported. And again, it's just, these are individuals who are doing it the right way. They're trying to go through the system, and it's a complete violation of the integrity of due process. It is absolutely eroding trust in the system, and it's very scary. None of it is okay. I want to add also that on Wednesday in Chicago, where our firm is actually based, several people in Chicago apparently were tricked into showing up to a regular immigration check-in over text, but instead they were arrested. So we'd urge anyone who has upcoming court dates, check-ins, or if you receive any similar messaging about appearing for a check-in, to please speak with your immigration lawyer or a immigration lawyer in advance of that. Next immigration update is, you might have heard of Trump's gold card. He has floated a proposal to sell a $5 million gold visa to wealthy foreign nationals, essentially buying permanent residency. It's signaling a shift towards ultra wealth-based immigration. The proposal is not law. It has no legislative or regulatory framework at this time. It's just something he's mentioned that's kind of floating out there at the moment. We'll keep you posted if anything changes on this. And lastly, the USCIS is employing what they call common sense tools to verify voters. Basically, it updated a program called SAVE to verify the immigration status or US citizenship of folks nationwide. Just an important reminder to never register to vote unless you are a US citizen. If you are contacted by USCIS regarding alleged voting activity, just be sure to reach out to an immigration lawyer before replying. And I know a lot of this was very heavy, so a lot going on there. As I said, I'm sure there's tons of questions and folks have already sent in some. Before we get into the Q&A, I just want to quickly lighten it up with some firm updates from the team here at McEntee Law Group. We are expanding in offices and people. So for anyone not aware, we have a new Memphis office as well. James Hollis, our wonderful new partner, is based there. And we've had a wave of new faces and minds joining our team since our last update too. We've got Lydia, a law clerk, Issa as a new client coordinator, Zine, a case manager, and Claire, a fantastic attorney who's, they've all come in with a bang. Claire's already winning cases, helping a lot of clients out, and just feeling so happy and lucky to add such great people to an already incredible team. And speaking of incredible team, if you want to join our incredible team or know someone who might be a good fit, we are hiring a few additional roles. We're looking for a family and humanitarian immigration case manager, a business immigration case manager, a senior immigration attorney who will work across sports, music, and business teams. And you can check out LinkedIn or reach out to us via email or socials if you know of someone who is a good fit or just want to learn more about the positions. Okay, let me jump into some of the previously submitted viewer questions, and I've also got an eye here out for any new comments that come in too. The first question was, should I delete social media before traveling? Um, Lots of reports of extreme social media vetting. Um, that includes at entry, but also at visa stamping appointments. CBP officers have been reportedly asking for devices and trying to access devices as well upon entry. Think about what they're looking for here. The main things is anything they can point to as being anti-American. So liking or sharing posts against Trump or his policies. So the question is, should you delete it entirely before you travel, or before you, I'll add, or before you apply for a visa stamp? Well, not having social media could also look suspicious too. The American Immigration Council published some suggestions this week. These apply more to the consular process and visa stamping, but again, I think it's relevant to international travel as well, given CBP's broad authority to, ask for your phones. So they suggested reviewing your social media accounts. Keep one or two accounts active. Deleting all of them could result in a denial, or they might think that you're hiding adverse information. But maybe consider removing posts that criticize the current administration or its foreign policies. Remove posts that could be considered inappropriate, like partying, drug or alcohol use. You might want to add posts about, if, for example, you're coming in as a student or on a work visa, just posts about being excited to experience America during, that training or that work opportunity. And be patient, especially with visa stamping. It may take longer than usual for this social media vetting to occur. Another question I got was, will I get a notice before my student visa is revoked? And this probably came in with the wave of student visa revocations that were happening in recent months, or maybe with the news of Harvard's student visas being impacted. Um, the answer is you might receive a notice, you might not. So we'd urge you to stay in contact with the International Student Office at your university. Be sure that you're working with them and monitoring your status in the portal. Next, again, kind of related, it goes into student status. What should I know this summer as an international student with a J1 visa? Okay, first question is if your J1 is with Harvard, because obviously that ban will impact summer plans. Second question would be about your nationality and if it's from one of the countries on that travel ban list. Uh, as you have seen, immigration news is changing quickly and unpredictably. So you can follow us on social media. Be sure you're following our newsletter to stay up to speed with the latest. And if you have any specific questions about your case, reach out to us. We're here to help. And, we'll get on a one-on-one consult with you to hear about the specifics of your situation and how we can advise. Okay, last was, has the new administration affected how hard it is to get the O1 visa? Great question, because I work on a ton of O's. They're my personal favorite. I would say that my answer for O's is probably similar to a lot of employment-based categories where we are seeing a major uptick in RFEs. An RFE is a request for additional evidence from the government. So they're just kind of, and we saw this under Trump's prior presidency too, just heightened scrutiny on all cases, more pushback, more questioning, more scratching at certain categories. For example, they're especially pushing back or questioning original contributions for O1As in business and science. For O1Bs in the arts, we're seeing more questioning and pushback on showing future work. So the answer is yes, in some ways, harder, maybe harder. I think just best to manage expectations and realized that under this heightened scrutiny, there's just a higher chance for pushback. But working with an amazing team like ours means that we're watching these trends as they happen, and what we're doing now is we're bolstering filings from the outset based on these trends that we're observing. And as new RFE types are getting thrown at us, we are able to respond really effectively. So while while you may be seeing more pushback on the O's or H's or other categories, it doesn't necessarily mean that an approval chances, off the table. So um, that's all we had, I think, for submitted questions. Let me just go into our comments here. Not seeing any more sent in, but I know that there's a lot to take in and digest. As I said, we're here anytime if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one consultation with myself or any of our fantastic attorneys. We've got someone for everyone, basically. Any type of immigration question you have, we're able to help. Thank you for tuning in. Next First Friday is going to fall, I believe, on the 4th of July holiday weekend. So we'll likely be back in August for more updates. As I said, we're here to help anytime. So be sure to check our website or call us for any more information. And thanks again for your time and for joining today.